It is that from an energetic standpoint, the blue beings, the luminous ones, the elders of light that are descending upon your planet as an energetic field that is approaching your matter and bringing higher octaves of frequency will be received with open arms and with much love. And contrary to belief or thought, it is that your weapon systems would be so obsolete, so primitive in their ability to have any effect in terminating any beings of this sort, because their vibration would not even come in contact with their frequency. And so this is not a worry at all. Happy Wednesday afternoon. Delighted to be here with all of you. My name is Kelly Kolodney, and you were just watching that video, and I wanted to share it. I probably will share it every Wednesday before class while we're just sitting and waiting to get started, because it is so sweet and so inspirational. We just finished our Weaving the Magic art workshop. And Raphael talks about the Mother Source creation grid so much, and about the infinity symbol, and us weaving this web of light around the planet to give birth to the new earth. And yet we actually physically started building and doing and creating and getting ourselves out in nature and connecting with the land. And people made infinity symbols on the beach and in the forest and at home in altars, and they made wands, and it was just incredible. We compiled it all together. It's just very heartwarming. So it just leaves such a feeling and a sense of us coming together collectively as a spiritual community to build and create the new earth. And so this afternoon, before we getting started, I was just tuning into the light codes, and I asked the light codes, what is it we really need right now? And of course, they're always right on target. And the one that came up was the new earth. And this is such a beautiful one, right? And what it says is to hold the vision. And I know that that's not always easy. And there's a lot going on, and there's been a lot going on for a long time. And the energy can be really intense, and it's moving very rapidly at an accelerated pace, and it's going to continue to do that for a while. And so it's so important for us to hold that higher frequency when we can. And when we slip out of it, to just be gentle and loving with ourselves, and just take a nice deep breath, kind of unplug from everything, move the energy through, and maybe call a friend or someone in our community and say, hey, I'm slipping into the yada yada, or I'm slipping into fear, and I've forgotten how to hold that higher frequency or the vision, and get some support. And vice versa. If you're somewhere and you're with a group, and people get a little off track and go down the fear frequency, the drama frequency, can we pull it back in? Can we hold a higher timeline? Because that's what we're being asked to step up and to do, which is really cool, because the other card that came up was leadership. This is with Adama, which is interesting. Adama is an energetic being. He's connected to the Lemurian frequency. He lives beneath Mount Shasta, what's called Telos, in a crystalline city. I know that sounds pretty out there, but it's true. And their frequencies are coming up online. And this card is about really stepping into alignment with our truth, our authenticity, our frequency, and our power to hold that vibration. So, as Raphael says all the time, hold it, stay steady. Okay, so I am going to channel today, of course, for all of you. If you are new to our Wednesday afternoons, they are free, they're open to everyone. If you're in our spiritual community, which is absolutely free, then you get a Zoom link in your email, and you can join us live and raise your hand and ask the Angel Raphael a question. So I think Casey will share with you our rules around asking questions, and then we'll get started.
All right. So I will call on you. I'm going to go in the order
Casey?
of the hands raised. Can you not hear me?
Hmm.
I'm
Casey is
here.
in Vienna, Austria right now, and maybe he's having some technical
Oh,
difficulties.
I'm here. Can
Okay,
other
so I'm
people
going to
not hear
share the
me?
rules with you. Hopefully, he will be
Wait a
back
second.
soon because he's going to have to call on you.
I'm here.
So what happens when I channel is I close my eyes, my hands move all around. I rock back and forth. I say hello, wherever you are in the world. You're going to say hello back, and then Angel Raphael will come in and probably have a message.
Oh,
And then you'll
Mom,
have an
you can't
opportunity
hear
to
me.
ask your question. The questions are not personal. You're not going to ask about your job or your brother-in-law or, what's going to happen next week. That's not what we're here for. They are universal questions that support the collective and everyone on the call and you. And we'll go through them one by one. So, Casey,
Kelly,
can
Mom.
you
Kelly,
hear me?
Casey can hear you. Yeah.
Hmm, Let me
Yeah,
And
she
see.
we
can't
can
hear
hear
anyone. She can't. I'm going to mute everyone. She can't hear anyone. We're
Casey's
all
coming
here.
through
Check
to all. Oh, huh,
check
try.
the chat. You can't hear me.
Aha. I can't hear you, but now I can.
Oh, you can.
hmm hmm
Okay,
hmm
great.
It was my fault. My
No
volume.
worries.
I
No
turned my
worries.
volume down to turn off the video. Oh my God. Okay, sounds good. All right. So anything else? We've been probably talking at the same time. It's been comical. All right. Is there anything you want to
Yeah.
say before I start?
The only thing is that I don't know what, I actually wasn't listening to what you were saying because I was concerned that you couldn't hear me. But what it comes
Nothing. No,
down,
no.
what the rules are, everybody, is that we're asking universal questions, questions that we feel like are going to benefit everyone. You don't need to give it too much context. The Angel Raphael will tune into your field, and if Raphael needs more context, we'll ask for more context. So keep your question concise. And if and there's no follow-up questions today just because we have a lot of hands. And if I sense that it's you're breaking the rules in any way, I'll mute you, but I love you. So don't take it harshly if that's what ends up happening. I do love you. We're just
We
following
love
the
you,
rules.
but no rule breaking. Just kidding.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, let's get started. Last week, for those of you who were on the call last week, these blue beings came. And then this morning in class, when I was channeling for everybody, I know this sounds ridiculous, but these other beings came that work on the green frequency. I was like, okay. So I don't know what's up with all that. So let's just see what comes through. Oh, sorry, I need water. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, ow, ow. We are understanding that all of you are wanting to talk to us, and so we are very happy to be here and to love, 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 love all of you. And so, what is it you are wanting to talk about?
Well, hi, Raphael. So we have some wonderful questions that were sent in, and we chose three of them to ask you before we select the people who are live to ask their questions. And one of the first questions was about the energy that comes on the planet in waves to shift our body into a crystalline state can be overwhelming for some, and they're wondering if they can redirect it to those who might not be as sensitive yet or who need it perhaps more than they do. And or those who might be in a lower vibration that might harm Earth. Can they be recalibrated towards love and goodwill if that energy is redirected towards them?
Well, what they are saying is that the energy is too much for them, and they're wanting to hand it off somewhere else, in which they perceive as an energy that is denser or lower than themselves. Perhaps it is what it is that you are asking. However, of course, everything is themselves, and as they can assimilate and integrate this energy, of course, they are vibrating it wherever they are going, and it is having an influence and an impact on all of those around them. But can they give it to another? Of course, they can send energy and love to another, but in order for someone who is perhaps being perceived in a very dense frequency or doing harm to the earth, in order to receive this vibration of higher frequencies, they would need to be receptive and open and prepared themselves to receive it. And so we are a bit baffled by this specific question, other than inviting whoever is asking of this to attune to the energies and calibrate to the light that they are receiving, for that is the purpose of this. And of course, if there is an enormous overflow and capacity to give in a loving way, then simply to do so.
Thank you, Raphael. And I think what it is highlighted here is about our relationship to receptivity. And so if someone feels like they are highly receptive and they would like to perhaps be less receptive and redirect that energy to somebody, is that possible? Is it possible to influence our own level of receptivity to receive the perfect amount for us so that we don't receive too much that inhibits our three-dimensional functioning?
Of course. For it is the first of all, you are unable to receive these higher frequencies unless, on some level, whether it is conscious or unconscious, there has been an agreement. So no one is ever a victim to high level vibrational energies or frequencies. However, if it can be overwhelming on a conscious level, simply through intent and intention, you can choose for it to stream in to your vibration, dripping instead of flowing at a rapid pace, so that you can receive it in increments that are in alignment with who it is that you are. And that is really all that is needed. It is very important to know that you are never a victim to any and all frequencies, that you are operating in free will, but that you might forget that at times and feel as though it is out of control, or that there is nothing that you can do. And until you begin to master that understanding, and to begin to intend and to communicate and to merge with the energy itself and to come into alignment and balance with it, it may take a period of time for you to integrate it in this way.
All right. Thank you so much, Raphael. So the next question that we were going to ask today is, as we as a human race develop telepathic abilities, how do we protect children who are also developing those abilities and other sensitive beings from harmful or inappropriate thoughts in others? And how will we manage the overwhelm of hearing many thoughts at once, especially in crowded places?
Well, there is a lot there to unpack, but in telepathic communication, again, like the first question, you have a discernment, and you have free will and the capacity to turn off streams of energy or information that is coming in your way. However, if you are aligning with specific vibrations that you may be thinking are somewhat negative for whatever reason, they are coming into your field to be transmuted, and simultaneously the work that is being done in a telepathic way is going to create a need, more so for those who are having thoughts, when they begin to have the recognition that others can telepathically read and feel and know what it is that they are thinking, to begin to monitor their words and their thoughts, and to become more conscious. And so this energy will be working in both directions. The one who is receiving the telepathic messages and information from another, and the one that is in awareness that another is able to read their thoughts and those messages, so that they too are being almost forced into an evolutionary process of their own inner growth in the monitoring of their thoughts, their words, and even their emotions to some extent to align with higher frequencies, because they are recognizing that those energies are permeating and affecting perhaps those in which they are in telepathic communication with. However, telepathic communication rarely occurs between either animals or individuals or any other being unless there is a heart connection between those who are in communication with one another on some level, or a frequency of love. It is unusual for someone to be able to receive telepathic thoughts from others unless there is a deep heart connection. However, some of the children at this time and rare individuals, of course, at this moment have this capacity, and yet as well, just like in the first question, this can, through intent and free will, be turned off. But most of the time, this expression of telepathic communication that will be expanding at an accelerated and rapid pace all around your planet will be a teaching tool, because it will occur mostly between loved ones, and through that process, the one receiving it will be expanding specific skills within their pineal gland and expanding their frontal lobe frequencies. But it is the one who is not necessarily receiving the messages, but the messages are being received from, will be forced to move into more alignment with their own thought process.
All right, thank you, Raphael. And our last written question today was, when the blue beings and others arrive, how can they safely reveal themselves to a society that often reacts with fear or violence? Do they have a physical form, or are they pure light?
Oh, 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 oh. Our energy comes in many forms. And perhaps you are thinking about something you saw in Hollywood or in a movie where aliens arrive in spaceships, and everyone becomes afraid of them and they begin to have weapons toward them. But this is not the scenario that will play out. This is a fantasy. And it is that from an energetic standpoint, the blue beings, the luminous ones, the elders of light that are descending upon your planet as an energetic field that is approaching your matter and bringing higher octaves of frequency, will be received with open arms and with much love. And contrary to belief or thought, it is that your weapon systems would be so obsolete, so primitive in their ability to have any effect in terminating any beings of this sort, because their vibration would not even come in contact with their frequency. And so this is not a worry at all. However, there will be perhaps, and it is dependent upon what unfolds coming up, that there could be scenarios that you would be required to use great discernment, where energies might be coming in that are not actually sentient light beings that we are speaking of, that are manufactured and give the illusion that they are here in a negative way or in a warlike way, but that is not true.
All right, thank you so much. And so we're going to open up to Joy. Go ahead. Open into Joy.
Hi, sorry for the delay. Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
hello,
Hi. Hi. I had a question about shapes, colors, and sounds for healing. And I was particularly interested in the idea of shapes for healing, such as the infinity symbol, I assume, But I wondered, are there any particular shapes for particular sort of emotional states, such as feelings of unworthiness? Are there shapes, or is there just are there just general shapes for everything to help with healing?
The formation of a shape is something that you will be using a lot in healing and coming much more into alignment. And of course, the shape itself carries a specific frequency, and the sphere is the most healing frequency that there is, as it contains the wholeness of all. If you are wanting to work with other types of healing energies, of course, the tetrahedron is very powerful in terms of its process for transformation and transmutation. If you were wanting to ground the energy and anchor it, of course, you would be working with the cube. And so different energetic shapes have specific frequencies that can support in the healing process. And of course, in your architecture and in your healing modalities and other places in which you can enter into certain shapes that may be in the form of an egg or a spiral or an infinity, as example, will carry different qualities and you will attune to them. However, we can assure you that most of these shapes are very programmable by your intention and your energy and can be utilized for healing in different areas and in different ways, as well as color, of course, and sound. And this way of healing is very much a system within the architectural types of the temples that have been built on the new earth. And so we are spend much time in this new frequency that you call the new earth, and the centers that now you would look at as hospitals or medical facilities are very different on the new earth, and they are in different shapes, like you are saying, but often they are in either domes or round centers. But there are other energies that come in other forms, depending on what is needed on an energetic level. And in the new earth, as you begin to build these new systems, the healing on in the body will all be vibrational, will be color, will be shape, and will be sound.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. What a fun question. Thank you so much. Esther.
Hello, hello,
Hello, hello, hello.
hello. My question is about the contrast of the 5D energy we're moving into and the dense and heavier 3D energy that seems to be specifically focused on the trans community right now. You touched on the subject last week a little bit, but I was wondering if you have a message for trans people, their loved ones and allies, to stay hopeful, to transmute the reactive energy, the anger and the powerlessness into something positive, to elevate and expand our energy. Like, what can we do now?
Well, it is important to recognize that although a lot of energy is directed to this specific group, that they are not alone. And to not to see themselves so much as separate, but as part of the collective in terms of great transformation and transmutation. It is all different energies and different systems, whatever they may be, are going to go through an enormous transformation. And in upcoming times, which we cannot specify in linear time, but fairly quickly, yeah, the attention will move away from this specific aspect that is so focused here on this, because there will be much larger issues at hand and systems that will be dissolving yeah, as you are birthing into and creating the new earth. And so it is important for them to remember, as we were saying in our last transmission, that they have and carry a very specific and beautiful coding as they are anchoring in a balance of the divine masculine and feminine energy. And just like questions in which you were asking before, many of you, around the autistic children and other groups that perhaps feel separate or are targeted, or perhaps ethnic groups of certain types in which are feeling unsafe in different places, that they are not alone, and that it is important for them to perceive and attune to themselves as part of the collective, even though in this moment there is this isolated pocket of feeling targeted at, and to hold the line in the truth of who they are, which is partly identified with this specific trait, but that they are so much more, that they are all things, that all of you will begin to less identify with your gender, with your ethnicity, with your job, with your title, with your role in your family, etc., in these very specific ways, as you begin to have much more acceptance, tolerance, love, compassion, and recognition for one another, in the remembering that everyone is yourself, and that those who are in this moment going through these particularly difficult times, as hard as it is to wrap one's mind around this or understand, that there is a conscious decision and a contract come in and to be embodied in certain forms and experiences at this time, to bring compassion and understanding and love to others as a mirrored reflection. And so we encourage them to stay steady, to be true to who they are, to open their heart, not to get to drop into the fear, to raise their frequency above it, to become strong and alive and true to themselves, and to remember that this spotlight, perhaps that is in that direction right now, will move into another focus actually quite quickly, for larger things that impact the entire collective are arising soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Kathy. Kathy Higgins.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Raphael. Hello. Hello. This is a question about children. It's kind of a three-parter, but it's really just one question. So, Casey, feel free to stop me if you need to. Raphael, please elaborate on the attributes and gifts of the children that are coming in now. And how long has it been since they have been arriving with this potential for higher consciousness? And I was also, the last part is, are there only certain children that will be born with these attributes in lieu of each individual's accumulative spiritual evolution that they're on?
Yes, it is that the energies every generation come in with more awakening and ability to assimilate and to adapt to the new frequencies that are on the planet as you are transcending into the new earth. However, it is, yes, that all of the children are special and unique and beautiful and carry light and are here for many reasons, but some in particular especially those born in the last 10 to 15 years, and the newborns that especially are arriving right now. Their veil is completely open, meaning they have complete and absolute access, especially those recently coming in at the end of the Kali Yuga cycle, as there has been an entire new frequency that has been arriving in the last even 6 to 13 months, which we know in your linear time is very frequent. But they come without a veil. So the flooding of energy, codes, and information and understanding on a holographic level of a unified energy where there is no time and there is no space, and they are operating at a very high frequency, able to download information instantaneously. Their whole system is very different, and they will also grow in some respects even faster. They will learn much faster. They will connect. You will look into their eyes, and it will feel as though you are looking into the galactic core of Source itself. And they will bring so much joy and so much energy, but they will be very busy and move very rapidly. And their energies will have an enormous, powerful, and potent impact on your planet and in resonance with it. And they will come with what you would perceive as gifts that are unique and they are capable of doing, because they will be operating and communicating on a multidimensional level, on a galactic level, and they will be woven into the networks. And what we mean by that is the network of water, the network of the elemental energies, the network of the crystals, the network of the tree symbols, the networks of the animals, and all of those communication systems that are coming online. They are already tapped into and able to communicate and move energy through them. So just like other generations could come in and maybe perhaps know how to navigate the remote control on the television where their parents could not. This will be a very accelerated expansion in their capacity to work with the networks that are coming online around the globe. And so this does not mean, however, that they are not to be mentored, not to be loved, not to be taken care of, not to be cherished, or to be disciplined, and all of those things, or to negate the fact that they're elders or the wisdom keepers and ones that have spent time on the earth do not have things to share or to teach to them, for it is an integration of both of these energies simultaneously that will create much beauty around the globe.
Thank you guys so much for being a part of the Wednesday call. We know that you have an important question inside of you that could help everyone. And so if you want to get on and ask your question to serve everyone, click the link in the description below to become a free member so that you can join us on the live Zoom call and ask your question. I'll see you there. An excellent question. Thank you, Raphael. Elite, you're next.
Thank you, Casey. I love you, Raphael. Thank you so much.
Hello, hello.
So this question,
Hello, hello,
hi.
hello.
So this question is about our current job market, the unemployment specifically. It's a question for the people that do self-work and that don't mind working and take accountability and are not victims. Sorry, I'm just so nervous. What do we most need to remember when we feel unseen and or unused and or uncertain of our value in the world?
Oh, 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 oh. It is that very important for you to know that you are safe and that you are eternal. Important for you to know that nothing external outside of you defines who you are, that you are extraordinarily powerful, that your capacity to create or to bring into your experience and into your timeline a match of something in which your skills and your gifts can be shared, in which you will receive whatever it is that you are needing to feel abundant, is your birthright. We're wanting you to go tonight and look in the mirror and look into your essence, because we see your essence. We see this ball of light. It is shimmering and it is beautiful and it is bouncing all over. And yet somewhere in there, it got caught in a feeling of feeling unseen, or a feeling of being unsafe or unvalued or not important. And that frequency, although there is nothing intentional about wanting to align with it, in fact, everything within every fiber of your being is wanting to align with the frequency of worthiness and abundance and purity and a sense of faith and knowing that all is well. And yet the mind, the busyness of the mind, can drop into a state of fear as it gives its power away to external energies outside of self. And so cultivating that energy in your base chakra and in your solar plexus, and beginning to move it up through your system and into your toric field to hold the vibration and frequency that whatever it is that you are wanting to bring into formation, into creation, is absolutely and completely possible. But it cannot be possible until you fully, absolutely love, accept, and adore and honor who you are at the deepest level, at the essence of your soul. And so we are wanting you to go and to look in the mirror and into your eyes and be very, very quiet, and to stand there for a long period of time, perhaps 10 minutes, and just look. And as you look into your eyes, you may say out loud, I love you. And begin to feel in your body what that feels like, and say it again and again and again. Say to yourself, I see you. I love you. You are divine. And notice what starts to come up to the surface, what emotions begin to arise, and allow those emotions to be felt, to be experienced. And when they arise, keep looking in the mirror and keep through those emotions that are coming through. Say, I love you, meaning I love those emotions. I love everything and all parts and everything about who it is that I am. Until you start to see, as you're looking in the mirror, a light will begin to develop, a shimmering frequency, because the density will start to slowly dissolve and the light will permeate through your energetic body. And as that light permeates out through the body, it will create light in the space as you are looking in the mirror. And it will begin to form like an orb, an energy, and it will start to even move. This is your essence. This is your primal self, your I am that I am. This is who you are at the core. And when you can find that kernel, that essence, that source, that I am that I am, and look at it directly in the mirror with love for it and compassion for it, you recognize that there is nothing to fear, and that everything that you need has always been right here, and that it is right here. And that as you start paying attention to all that is, that already is right here, it will start to amplify and to grow until it is full and you are full. And there will be no longer a need for seeking or a worry that it will be gone, because it has never been gone. It has always been right there.
Thank you for everything that you are.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Great question. So relevant. All right, Allegra.
Thank you, Raphael, for answering my
Hello,
question.
hello,
I
hello.
love you. This question is about the children who decide to come in with type 1 diabetes or develop it along the way. And why do they choose this? They call it uncurable disease.
Ah,
And is it really incurable, like the doctors say? Do you see any advancement in medical in the future? And what can you say about this, please? Thank you.
It is an opportunity to come into sacred relationship with food, to come into sacred relationship with what is received and taken into the body in the most honoring way, and to have an impact with consciousness to attuned to the food so that it is calibrated to be receptive within the physicality of the body, to merge and to be able to be assimilated in a way that brings a state of equilibrium and health. In the future, yes, of course, this will be obsolete as your new ways of operating and healing will be very different, and you will be able to calibrate and bring this into balance. But at the moment, it is an opportunity not only for the one in the family who is experiencing this diabetes, but for all of you in the family, not just saying in this family, but all families, to come into an honored, sacred relationship with food. Your food on your planet right now, in many places, is void of light and of nutrients and of its essence and its source, and it's the energy. And as you begin to pay more attention to it and begin to commune and connect with it, and to choose ones that are whole and easily assimilated. You can then also, through your consciousness, affect the food in a way through your intention and your thought processes so that it is integrated and assimilated in the body, in the functions in which is needed. And this is something that you are learning through how you can affect your water by communicating with it and it communicating back to you, and the power it has for healing in the body. But it is no different with the food itself and your capacity to influence it through your energetic thought processes. And so the purpose of this and many of these diseases that come in is to bring conscious awareness to the food systems, to your capacity to where to put your energy and attention, and also how to change current foods that are being consumed by the body.
All right, excellent. Really great stuff. Joni.
Hi, thank you, Casey. Hi, Raphael.
Hello, hello,
Hello, hello. So my question has to do with pain in the body. I know that Kelly said that it was normal at this time to have ascension symptoms or pain in the body, but if for those of us who have pains or imbalances and feel that we're doing everything possible to allow and release and really take great care of our bodies and heal in every way, but these pains are still persisting, would this be a time to just then like hang in there and allow the process, or should we be doing something else? Thank you so much.
Ah, ah, ah. It is not easy, but if you can come into alignment with loving the pain, for a period of time without an expectation that it should be or go somewhere other than where it is, Of course, this shortens the duration for it, but we want to also remind all of you to be compassionate, loving, and gentle with yourself, because there is an influx of many things happening simultaneously on your planet right now. There is an influx of light coming in that it can be difficult to assimilate. There are toxins that are everywhere. There is a lot of poison that is in places, and toxins that cannot necessarily be noticed or seen or even avoided at this time. Of course, there is the collective emotional state of the earth right now, where there is a lot of fear rising up. There is a lot of uncertainty. There is a lot of anxiety. And even if one is holding their own higher frequency, if they tap into that pool, that can have an effect on the body. So be gentle with all of yourselves, be compassionate and loving, have faith and trust that whatever you're feeling in your body right now will transcend itself, will heal. We will not always feel that way. Rest when you need to rest, stop when you need to stop, take care of yourselves, and of course, do all the things in which all of you know to do, to eat very clean, to have good water, to pray over your food, to walk barefoot in the park, to be in the sunlight, to do breath work, to meditate, all of that. And yes, of course, even in doing all of those things and more, one may still have uncomfortability in the body, as it is releasing denser energies that will not be able to be carried through into higher vibrations, and through that it may represent or appear. And so just have compassion for it, and know in the depths of your own being that it will pass.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You, Raphael. All right. Our next question is Donna.
Hello, Raphael.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. So my question is for people in the collective and we as individuals, how do we connect with our worthiness, and how do we release fear around stepping into our power so that we can serve others?
It I know can feel as though that is hard and it is complicated, but it can simply be a choice, a decision in this moment. I choose to step into my power. You might even move into an affirmation of I am powerful. We did that with this one for a period of time until she recognized that. And in holding those vibrations, the lower ones start to fall away. You might need to put your body in a stance of power. You might to hold your hands in a powerful way with them pointing down. You might want to have your legs open. You might want to stand in a powerful way when you're standing up or when you're talking to people. You might have to affirm and say, I am powerful. I am that. I am. You might want to attune to a goddess of great power and attune to that frequency of Kali or Sekhmet, to go deep into the bowels of your being and to love all of you. You come into power and alignment with your true power when you love and accept all parts of self. And as you begin to recognize the parts in which you are not loving, which you are not accepting, in which you are hiding from, that are deeply hidden in the recesses of the bowels where Kali goes, go let her come in, call her to come down deep into the guttural, heavier energies down in your lower chakras and open that energy and love all of that, allowing all of you to be loved and embraced, not just the parts in which you think should be loved, not just the parts that are labeled as good, but all of you. When you love all of you completely, then you are bringing in fragmented pieces in which you have outsourced or given your power away to, and you are gathering that energy back until you literally might just go out and just sit and gather your energy. Where is your energy being depleted? Where are you giving your power? Who are you giving it to? Can you find it? Can you go collecting it? Can you gather it? Can you bring it back in to your center core column? Can you send it down into the depths of your bowels? And then can you go into the recesses of those dark places? And can you bring full love to those places? And in doing so, can you anchor in the energy by standing in a power stance? You have lived lifetimes as a powerful being. Reclaim that power, find it, gather it, return it to self.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. How's the vessel doing, Raphael?
Well, the vessel is tired, but the energy is happily flowing. But perhaps it is time to take a rest, unless there is one more question.
I'll ask a question just because I think it is timely. There are some people who wrote in about the selection of the new pope and the energy that the new pope will bring to humanity. Do you have anything to say about that?
Oh, oh, oh. It is that you're all very aware that many systems that you are tied to that are very familiar and at times very comforting, whether they be your medicine or your finances or your education or your agriculture or your religion, are changing. And there is a potential for an unraveling of energies here and for a revealing of energies here in this particular institution, where the essence of the teachings of Christ, or the vibration of Jesus, and the purity of his compassion and his unconditional love that he carries and that he brought forth, that have often been submerged and hidden away in doctrine and in constructs and in division, would love to find its way to the surface to unify many. And yet, simultaneously on your planet at this time, there are many energies that lead the way toward a vibration in which there is a forgetting of this compassion, a forgetting of a humanness, of understanding, a forgetting of unconditional love, of energy that is rubbing against the vibration of this original, beautiful frequency that teaches a sense of union, the ability to heal, to put down one's weapon, to love thy neighbor, to care for the poor, to feed the hungry, to take in those who are wounded, to care for the sick, to love one another. This energy has a potential to come back online, to be seen for its truth. And yet, There will be infighting. There will be a internal battle as to who will be the head, the representative of this energy. And at the same time, the old guard, the old ways in all of these systems are collapsing. And so, who will come to be your leader at this time? It will depend on the reflection of the consciousness of the collective at the moment of the decision, and how necessary it might be for an energy to come forward that would bring you backwards. And in going backwards, sometimes it is that vibration that becomes oppressive, that forces the energy from underneath to push through, like a beautiful flower that somehow finds its way through the concrete and blooms into a rose. That is what is happening. The concrete is everywhere, crashing down around you, creating a sense of deadening and density and forgetting. But it is the beauty and the power of the life force of the seed and the sunlight hitting it and the water seeping through the crack that allows something to burst through that concrete for life to be born and to blossom. And so whether the energy will be heavy and more concrete will be poured on top of the essence and the kernel of this unconditional love, or whether the concrete will begin to dissolve and the love can shine and have more freedom, more spaciousness to grow in the light, is unknown. It is of great welcoming that we welcome home this Pope Francis and his ability to hold the frequency to the best of his capacity in his human form for union and compassion and love. And so we don't know what timeline you will all choose, but it is essential and important at this time for all of you to choose and to remember what were the original teachings when you let go of all of that in between, when you get to the seed, to the essence, to the kernel, which is love. And so take those teachings and apply them in every word that you speak, and every thought that you have, and every action that you take. And in that, knowing that that frequency will hopefully be mirrored in a leader that will lead that way toward peace. For peace on your planet now is essential. We love all of you, and we ask you to hold that vibration of unconditional love. And do not waver, do not fear, do not be afraid as things shift and change quickly and rapidly. And it might appear that things are getting more difficult, denser, harder, frightening, because they are simply what may be needed to break everything open, so that that beautiful seed that is trying so hard to push its way through the concrete, that in the breaking open and the collapsing of what has been built on top of it, begins to disappear, although something that is familiar, something new will be born. Trust in that. And with that, we send to you all of our love and all of our light. Many blessings and good day. Oh. All right. Well, thanks everybody. We will answer more questions next week. Thanks so much for joining. Love you all. Have a beautiful weekend wherever you are in the world. And talk soon. The Galactic White Horse Light Code begins on June 2nd. It happens to be on sale right now before it goes up to its normal price. So if you guys want to join us, it's going to be very magical. All right. Love you all so much.